everyone, my name is Jen and this is Beast of the Plants, where we talk about all things houseplant and home design. Welcome back. I'm so excited for another episode of my series, The Houseplant Alphabet. This is a series where I introduce you to some of my houseplants. We talk about my experience growing them and what conditions they're currently receiving in my home. Once again, I am definitely no plant expert and this is not a definitive care guide. I'm just going to be talking about my experience. I'm very excited to show you today's plant because this was definitely a plant that I was influenced to buy. And if you watch Erica, I believe her last name is Lodi's or Lodes. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. Sorry about that, Erica. But she often showcases these plants on her channel, and especially when she's like shopping around, she'll call these donuts. So I think that's so fun. So this is its proper name is a Tillandsia Xerographica. It is an air plant, and it does have the shape of a donut. I think these are definitely an easy to care for plant. However, I am actually kind of struggling with it a little bit, and it's definitely not the plant's fault. It is 1000% user error, and it comes down to the fact that because I can't water these with a watering can, I often forget to water them for an extended period of time, so then I have crispy brown tips. So it's really just something that I need to be better about when I am watering my plants, to remember to take this into the bathroom and water it. So I actually read recently that the Xerographica is considered an endangered species in its natural habitat, which is like so weird to me because I find that this is a pretty widely cultivated plant. It's pretty easy to find. It's available at my local nurseries as well as big box stores occasionally when I visit them. So I didn't realize that this was such, like an endangered species. So especially because it is considered an endangered species, I definitely have to do a better job at making sure my plant stays alive. Okay, we're back. My camera ran out of battery. Okay, so as I was talking about, let's talk about watering this plant. This plant is very, very drought tolerant, being that it is an air plant. However, that does not mean that you can leave it for like months at a time without watering. So how you would water this plant is you would either get like a bowl, or you can like plug up your sink, which is what I often do, and then fill it with room temp water. Just make sure that it's not cold. And then you would just soak the plant, soak it both this way and this way, make sure that everything is thoroughly wet. And then I would leave it like this in the sink or a bowl for about 30 minutes to an hour, and then after that time you can take it out and shake all the excess water off, pat dry, and then put in a well-lit area so it gets dry out. You want to make sure that your air plant dries out in about 30 minutes to an hour so that you don't risk any like rot or mold issue. So that's why you should ideally water either like in the morning, or you put it in like a grow light, well-lit area sort of situation so that it will dry off quickly. So that's watering. So let's talk about lighting. I think it's a common misconception that these are low light plants. They are definitely not low light plants. They need a lot of light. So I have mine on this plant shelf, so it's getting grow light. I think that's good. I think it definitely needs either bright indirect light or above. I believe that this variety of air plant, the Xerographica, can even handle direct light if you want to give it just like a ton of light. So yeah, really high bright light condition for this plant. So for fertilizer, I have never fertilized this plant. I don't believe that it is completely necessary to fertilize this plant, although it probably would help. I do know that they tend to sell specific fertilizers for this plant, like ones that are made specifically for air plants. Maybe in the springtime I will start to look for one, and then check out like what makes it different and how it's specifically formulated for air plants. But at the moment I have never fertilized it, and it does seem to be relatively happy. It is putting out new growth, so yeah. So for propagation, I believe that this plant is a self-propagating plant. I think the most common way of propagating this plant is you want it to flower. I've never seen this plant flower. I don't know what that looks like, but you want it to flower and then collect the seeds from the flower to propagate this plant. I think that this one also will produce pups as like an offshoot of the plant. I've never seen it, so I don't know. This is also a pretty new plant to me. I've only had it for about 6 months, so it's unlikely that this plant will propagate for me anytime soon, especially considering that I have not fertilized it yet. So yeah. For humidity, it definitely does not need to be in a high humidity location. Just ambient room humidity is perfectly fine. My ambient room humidity is around 50%. I think even if your ambient room humidity is lower than that, it will also likely be fine. I think that the growth pattern of this plant is super fun. It grows out of the center and then it grows longer and longer and longer until it becomes, you know, like the leaves like this, and then it will start to curl and it becomes a donut shape. I think that this plant grows a lot quicker than I was imagining. I think that I've gotten, you know, quite a few leaves since I've gotten it in the last 6 months. Definitely not something I was necessarily expecting. So I don't know why I just assumed that this would be like a slow grower because it's not planted into anything, but it's definitely not. So if you take care of your plant really well, it can definitely grow quite sizably in a year for you. So that's really cool. I think this is my like favorite air plant, just like shape wise, because I think it's so cute. It's so big and curly and in the shape of a donut. So yeah, I would highly recommend you get one if you have a really, really good bright light condition, but you suck at watering your plants. Might be a good option for you. Alright, I don't think there's anything else for me to talk about. I think that's it. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye!